Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to try this format here using the other camera today. We'll see if this one works properly the way that we want it to. So I wanted to do a little video that was kind of a recap of my brief visit to the CSC Fancon that happened this weekend. And I specifically popped in for a couple of hours on the Saturday, and I'll kind of recap a little bit of it while I show off some of the cards and things. I didn't really do anything in terms of card pickups. I did have a couple boxes that I did pick up, and I'll do that right at the very end of the CSC show discussion. And since there isn't that much that I can show you, I didn't take too many pictures or any video from the show itself. Although I think Bobby Burrell was there, and he did take one picture from the show floor. So I think I'll pull it off the phone and I'll be able to show that to you at least while I'm talking through it. And then I'll show off a couple of things that I do have, and then I'll show off those boxes. And then at the very end, I actually received a surprise package from FedEx on the weekend, and they actually delivered my Fanatics Collect stuff, which is actually some stuff going back to 2023 that I've had sitting in the vault that I actually requested over, so they actually sent it to me. So now I have that in hand, so I'll include that as part of this as well. So we'll do kind of a PSA grading reveal, which is part of the reason I was there in CSC in the first place, which I'll touch on in a second. And then I'll show the boxes that I picked up, and I'll finish off with Fanatics Collect. So first off is going to be the PSA reveal. I actually dropped off a bunch of cards at PSA during the Toronto Expo, and Luke was able to help me out with that during the Expo, and he let me know earlier this week that he was actually going to pop down for the CSC Fancon, and he asked me if I was going to be down there and if I wanted him to bring the cards over. Well, rather than have them shipped out, I kind of mentioned this on the Friday Live, but rather than have him ship it all the way out, if he was going to be coming down this way anyway, I thought that I would pop in. So let me just kind of say a quick thing about the CSC Fancon. It's kind of a combination, a hybrid between kind of a card show and then also kind of a TCG, anime, expo, cosplay kind of thing. It's almost like mixing Comic-Con with kind of an Anime North combined with the sports card thing. And I'll get into kind of how that played out. I'll say, I think by trying to combine so many things, you almost kind of lose the identity of it. It's trying to be too many things at the same time. It wasn't enough card show, I think, for the average card show viewer. And I think that was also kind of reflected in the way they had to set it up, because more of an Anime North or a Comic-Con kind of thing has generally more expensive tickets than a card show would normally have. And that was reflected here. The CSC show had, if you were just attended the one day, which is what I did, I bought the ticket online and it was $40. Well, $40 for a card show is kind of ridiculous, especially for one day. But for more of a Comic-Con Anime North kind of thing, well, that's more in line with that kind of thing. So anyway, I have a handful of cards here. What do I have? I have 5 cards here that were part of that PSA thing. The other ones were done with on-site grading, so obviously I've had those for a while. So I have a couple of Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s. First one from 2018, Donruss Optic, the Pandora Purple. See if I can get that focus to work. It looks like it is there. There is the Pandora. So that's in a PSA 8. I didn't take a look at these too closely, but nonetheless, I'll figure out what I'll do with them later. So that's numbered to 99 on that one. So that's the first one there. Second one there is the same year, but this one is the We the People parallel. And that one came off as a PSA 9. Let's see if we can get the focus on that. It's got pretty good shine to it. And these are numbered to 76. Playoff of 1776, so very thematic on that one. So that's the second one there. We'll figure out what we'll do with that later on. And the rest of these are all PC ones. For the Dentist PC on the Wrestling side, first one is actually from the first year of Upper Deck AEW. It is the Pyro autograph. And this one came back in a PSA 10, which actually is pretty good for the foil. So pretty solid there. Got the Pyro. Pretty nice looking card. Got plenty of shine on this one. And this one is number 225. So I don't know if you can see the numbering on that. Let's see if I can focus in on it a little bit. So I don't know if you can make that out. It's right about there. But anyway, so it is number 225, this one. That one's in a PSA 10, which is great. Not necessary, but in this case it's good. Second one is 2023, autograph, Pyro, same thing, number 25, same. And this one is also in a 10. Same kind of pattern. Also in a 10, but this time obviously the numbering is a little easier to see. You can make it out right there. That's a cool one there to finish that one off. And then to finish off the 2023s, because I do have all of them except the one of one, the autograph Dynamite. This one came back as a PSA 9, but the Dynamite is numbered to 5. So now these ones go all the way back into the collection with the rest of them. So thanks to Luke for providing that and having great service and hand delivering it in this case, flying down, in this case handing it over to me, which is great. So that was basically the main reason I went down there. And kind of as a side bonus, Bobby, as I mentioned, did go down there as well. And also I was able to see Brad Hartland and Sherry from AMG, Brad Hartland from PSA Canada. We were able to chat. Kevin, who's been on the PSA Canada thing with me back before when I was doing that. So obviously it was good from the perspective of, and this is kind of the good and the bad of it. Because the show was kind of weird and trying to figure its identity, I don't feel like it was super heavily populated. It felt like there was still plenty of room. They did have obviously some traffic, but I think some spots were really kind of light. Not very heavy in terms of traffic. Maybe Sunday we'll pick that up. I don't know. I can say the back section with kind of the cosplay and all that. There was like a dramatic reenactment or something. Somebody was doing like a whole scene from maybe an anime or something. And, you know, there seemed to be some interest back there. And there was a whole section there where a lot of different stuff was happening. If you like Pokemon, there was some stuff there as well. I would say, unless you had certain specific things you were looking for, it'd be a little bit tough to try to find some stuff that might make sense for you. But it was a good experience just to check it out, more than anything, honestly, just because there wasn't like a crazy crowds, and also the higher ticket price, I think, kind of may have impacted on that. That's just my speculation. It did give me an opportunity to spend a little more time talking with Brad and Sherry and with Luke and then Kevin and then with Bobby. And the other aspect of it is I got to talk with Steve Menzie, who also does the Toronto Fall Expo, and then Mikey Singer, who does a lot of stuff with the Toronto Fall Expo. So we were able to chat with them a little bit, which is great. That was, in reality, it ended up being kind of a networking thing, inadvertently, because they ended up all being there. And we had a little bit of space to maneuver and a little time to talk. So we were actually able to have a couple of conversations on the floor there without bothering anybody, which is actually very handy. So I think that's really where the benefit came out of it. So it was nice chatting with those folks. I was only there for a couple hours because I had a feeling that I wouldn't need to be there too long. I was able to look at some of the booths, go through a couple of boxes and things, but I didn't spend too much time staring at it. Most of the time was just kind of chatting with folks and getting a little bit of the lay of the land. But I did end up picking up a couple of things. So those cards, the PSA cards, were all from Luke providing them for me from the drop-off from the Toronto Expo. But I did get 2 hobby boxes here. So these are kind of fun. First one was kind of a surprise that one of the dealers had, and I just had to pick it up. It was very much a fun thing, and this is kind of an interesting quirk that I didn't realize would be around in this case. So from 2001 Topps, how about XFL premium football cards? So I got a hobby box of XFL, OG XFL. You can see there, Rashaan Salam. And then this is an opportunity. This one's got Tommy Maddox and He Hate Me, and the possibility, authentic autographs, gridiron memorabilia, mega foil QB cards. This will be open on this channel. I was able to get this for, I think, like $40. It wasn't anything crazy. I'm like, all right, I'm definitely grabbing this. This is from the inaugural and only series of the original OG XFL. We're going to have a trip down memory lane if any of you remember the old XFL, the Vince McMahon first attempt at a football league. So already right there, honestly, I would have already enjoyed the show, just chatting with folks, hanging out a little bit, and then being able to get an XFL hobby box. I was like, already I'm having a good time. But I was able to grab one more box because I'm a glutton for punishment. This one will be open on the Wrestling Card channel. We'll open it up over there. So apparently I haven't suffered enough. We're going to do one more box of 2024 Upper Deck Black Diamond AEW. Yes. Spent way too much money on this. However, I was able to get a little better price on it. This one is actually less expensive than my first one because already at this point these are starting to gather dust a little bit and the price is starting to come down on these. Already the original price on the table was already below cost for a lot of these guys, and I still talked it down further. I knocked it down another 20% from that price already, and I was able to get it with, it's still overpriced. Let me be clear about that. I'll still probably lose a fair bit on this box. However, I did want to, if the opportunity presented itself, I figured I would open one more. The first one, honestly, I did so badly on that I figured we'll take one more crack at it. We'll at least have some entertainment value. So that'll be on the other channel. We'll open up a box of this. And then the XFL one will open up on this channel at some point as well. So we'll get a couple of videos out of it, if nothing else. All right, with all that said now, I did get, as I said, a surprise drop-off from FedEx that I wasn't expecting. The original date was supposed to be Friday, but it looked like it was going to be delayed into Monday, but they ended up dropping off a box literally in front of my door. So when I was coming back from the show, I had dinner and grabbed a couple beers before I headed out, came back. I was across town, but nonetheless, I hung out a little bit. I was able to chat with Brad and Sherry after as well a little bit. But once we were done all that, and I was back here, then I noticed there was a box right in front of my door, which is always nice when they drop off the box in front of my door in the middle of the night. That said, I was able to get the box, opened it up, and it has everything that I requested the Fanatics Collect sent over to me. 10 items, nothing too crazy, but auctions that I'd won over the last several months. So we actually have some vintage. We've got a couple football cards. We've got a little bit of a bunch of different things. First one, though, was actually something that was, I think, the last item that I actually purchased from Fanatics Collect. And this is kind of a fun one because I showed it, a picture of it, I think, on either the podcast or the Friday Live, I forget. But I was able to show this, and it's a Venn diagram of some of the jokes that we have here. So first, this is a jersey signed by Juan Soto. And you can see there, it is a Beckett witnessed. You can actually punch in the code and see the date. So this, presumably, was autographed on 2018. So Juan Soto's rookie year, which is kind of cool. So the jersey itself is honestly a very generic. It's like a no-name brand knockoff jersey. I think the item that was actually signed was just this number 2, and it was put onto the jersey itself. So the jersey does say 22. It says Soto. It says Washington on the front of it. But honestly, the jersey is like, you probably found it in some Wish.com thing or whatever. But nonetheless, the number here apparently was signed in 2018. So it's a rookie year signed item then with the Beckett Witness, and you can actually see the date and location, which is actually kind of cool. So you have a little bit of provenance to it, which tells you a little bit more information. It's kind of neat. More than likely, I'll probably get that framed at some point. Now that brings us to the cards that I was actually able to get as part of it. So a handful of them. I do have some vintage here as well, but I'll start off with the football. First one is actually a little bit of a gag, but at the same time, it was also something that I picked up and I talked about on the podcast. This is so long ago now, though, that I'll probably have to remind maybe a little bit about why I picked it up in the first place. And this came down in the category of sometimes taking a flyer on some bad quarterbacks, because you never know. But more than anything, it was just fun for me. And again, kind of similar to what I do with Josh Rosen. The price was just so cheap on this that I was like, whatever, for me. This one is from 2021, Panini 1, Mac Jones dual patch autograph in a PSA 8. So there you go, Mac Jones autograph, number 249. It is a pretty neat looking card. This is one of those ones where, again, for the brief moment in time where Mac Jones was relevant there, it would have been interesting. This would have cost a lot more than what a lot of these have. But basically this, I think I ended up getting this for probably not much more than the grading cost, honestly. Nice looking patches and everything, but it's one of those similar, it's Panini. It's from not any specific game or event, but the autograph is certified. It's one of those deals. So who knows where they got the jersey from. So I'll hang on to it for now. It's one of those fun little quirks that I like to throw into the collection here and there. Next couple are actually a couple of Brett Favre's. So nice to add a few of those. I actually picked these up at Fanatics Collect. First one is 1997 Metal Universe. It is the titanium insert. So nothing too crazy, but this one I was able to pick up fairly cheap. So it's the titanium insert. It's got a little bit of foil there and a little bit of shine. It is a die cut. And it is a MBA certified authentic. So nothing crazy. This was actually fairly inexpensive when I picked it up. But kind of a neat looking card there with the foil. Second one's kind of a classic Pacific one, 1996 Pacific Invincible, and this is the Platinum Blue. It's in an SGC 8, so we got a couple of things going on there. It's the Platinum Blue. Invincible also means you got kind of a little bit of an acetate see-through there, where his headshot is. So kind of a little bit of a busy card, but nonetheless, late 90s Pacific, kind of interesting. Platinum Blues, I think, were 1 in 73 packs back then, something to that effect. I know that was like the case for baseball and hockey a little bit. I think it was similar for football. I forget now. So anyway, SGC 8 is what this one came out at. Again, fairly cheap, inexpensive. I was able to get that. This next one here was actually a gift from a friend of the channel, Jay. It was kind of an interesting kind of oddball card that he supplied, and I just thought it was really cool. But it had been sitting there in the vault for a while, and when I decided to ship everything, I definitely wanted to get this one in hand. So this is a 1901 Ogden's Limited. Good old Socrates. Our good buddy Socrates. So Socrates, PSA 5. Guinea Gold A base. So I don't know too much about these, but it is kind of a cool looking item. Blank back. That's a pretty neat looking thing. As I said, don't know too much about it there, but it is cool. 1901, as I said. Ogden's. So I'll do a little bit of research about it, but that's kind of a different thing that doesn't match anything else that I've got in the collection. So I do want to thank Jay for that. Much appreciated. Very generous gift. Next one here, kind of playing a little bit of the theme. This one was picked up a while ago, but nonetheless, it'll work. This is from 2021 Topps. It's Significant Statistics Autographs, Juan Soto Red. I actually think the label is incorrect. I think that was part of the deal. The label was marked as incorrect. It is a sticker auto there, but it is a Juan Soto autograph. As I said, I don't think this actually matches what this set is, but it is Significant Statistics. That part is true. And it is numbered to 25. So I'll double check what it is, but like I said, I think there's some error with the label if memory serves me, but it is an autograph numbered to 25. It was from 2021 Topps Series 2. Then to finish up, we've got some stuff for a few of the vintage projects. So first time in a while that we actually bring a couple of cards in hand for them. So a couple of nice ones though. From this 1963 Fleer set, we have the Sandy Koufax in a 5. So that one goes as part of my set. Pretty sharp looking card actually. There's the back. Pretty neat. Nice clean copy, so it's nice to have that in hand. It's going to go with the rest of the set. Next one here is a 1963 Fleer Joe Adcock in a PSA 6. There it is. So another nice addition. We take that one off the checklist. This one was, I think, the second to last item that I actually picked up before I ended up having this shipped over. And this is from 1953 Topps, and it is the Johnny Mize in a good plus 2.5. 1953 Topps is one of my favorites, so that's a great portrait there of Johnny Mize. Nice clean looking card in hand, it looks nice. In the holder, actually, it's nice and crisp, especially since it's a nice clear holder. Shows off the card really nicely. Framed very well. Very cool. And last one here for this is the 1953 Bowman Color. So this is card number 160, and it's Cal Abrams. This is a fairly old SGC holder, it looks like, with the label, if nothing else. And this one was a VG EX Plus 4.5, but it still had the 1/100 scale, which was a 55. So clear as mud. You got all that? So it is a little bit overly complicated, but nonetheless, a nice looking card. That's the last card in the series, so we knocked that one off the checklist. Cal Abrams. So we'll put that one here, and we'll actually include this one as part of it as well. We'll include the Johnny Mize. So we'll have 2 of the 53s here to finish things off. So very nice in terms of having the mail day, having from Fanatics Collect, and then a little bit about the CSC show. Like I said, CSC Fancon, there wasn't too much to it. I might have a couple more things to say. I'll think about it a little bit if there's anything else that came to mind. Those are kind of the high-level things that I thought about. And then, as I said, I'll do a box break on the XFL thing on the channel this upcoming week or so, and we'll have a little fun with that. And then for the AEW box, that'll be on the wrestling channel. The link is in the description to that. So I'll do that as well. So see how badly I get burned on the second box of that. And then also more videos will come up on the channel. We'll have the lives on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, this week, so I'm recording this on the Saturday. I will put the video up here on the Saturday. But on Sunday, I think I'm going to be doing a live for the Baltimore Ravens and Buffalo Bills game. I think that'll be a fun one. So we'll do a little bit of watch along and kind of hang out. And if anything comes to mind regarding the CSC show, I'll talk about it. And we'll see if anybody else wants to join me about that. I'll at least put it out there if they want to come on, or if any of you who have been on in the past want to come on and kind of hang out while we're watching the game and chatting. Certainly can, and I like doing those kind of watch-alongs during the playoffs. So with all that said, that's it for now. I'm going to go back to watching the football game. I'm going to get this video up on the channel as well, so hopefully you enjoy. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to throw them in. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on this weekend with the Dallas show and everything going on as well. But either way, that's it for me for now. Like if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks very much, and we'll catch you in the next one.